Hello, everyone. It is story time, and I'm so super excited to share with you my lived experience with Ohio WIC and what an amazing experience it has been throughout the years. So, just as an introduction, this first story, Milk and Orange Juice, is more about the products and services that WIC provides and how those have made a positive impact in my life. So just a little bit about that. As you saw in the beginning of my presentation, I do have 4 children, and all of my children have been a part of Ohio Women's Infants and Children's program. So they have provided me with such amazing services. I did breastfeed all 4 of my children, and I know even if WIC wasn't the deciding factor, they were always there to reconfirm my choice. They shared with me the benefits of breastfeeding, encouraged me to continue my journey, and then also helped me with transitioning, because I did transition all 4 of my children at different stages in their lives to formula. And what a huge service that was to be able to have formula, have milk, have cereal available for my children to, just get them started on a healthy journey. So the products and services have been amazing, and I definitely appreciate all of the help that I have received from the program. Now, let's get into milk and orange juice. So this is a story that occurred when I was the mother of one. I had one job, or one child. I was the mother of one, my oldest son. And, at the time I was a doting parent. I was super excited to have him in my life. I wasn't really a young parent. I was 25 years old when I had my first child. So I was ready to kind of, be a little bit more settled. And, I didn't feel like I needed to, run and go and do different things so much. But there did come an opportunity where a friend of mine asked me to go to the movies. And at that time, I was with another friend. So I was at my house, and one of my good girlfriends, actually my son's godmother, was at the house with me. So it was me, my son, and his godmother. And she was like, go to the movies, enjoy yourself, have fun. So I said, okay, she was going to stay there with my son. He was very young. So, care, was not that much that she would need to do. But I was like, okay. So I left and I went to the movies. And I enjoyed the movies. I enjoyed the time away and had a, good time. And then on the way back, I just had this foreboding feeling like, that may have not been the best idea. So I was pretty trepidatious, upon getting to the door and opening the door. And I called for my friend, and I didn't hear anything. And I started looking around. So I went upstairs to my room, and there was my son. He was there, lying there, asleep. And, I looked at him, I checked him. He was, perfectly fine that I could see. And my friend was gone. So in hindsight, and I'm not saying like hindsight from today or hindsight from 10 years ago. I'm saying in hindsight from the time that, I walked, or from the time that I said okay and walked out to get into the car to go to the movies, I was like, this might not be the best idea. So one thing about me is I am a recovering alcoholic and addict. So at that time, I probably had 2 or 3 years of sobriety, and my friend, my son's godmother, she probably had 2 or 3 months, maybe days, maybe hours. I'm not sure. But when I got back, she was not there. She had actually taken a few things of mine. I think she may have even, taken some food stamps and different things like that. So again, I made it back. My son seemed to be fine. But in my mind, I was still in a panic. So again, this is my first child. I have one charge, one child, one job, and I'm in a panic and I dial 911. So I wasn't, now that hindsight came later, and I was like, I don't know why I called the police on myself, but I did. So, I called myself stating what she had done. But in hindsight, of course, I'm the parent, so I'm responsible. So I called the police on myself. And they said, all right, we'll send someone out. And they sent Franklin County Children's Services. So this was about a week or so later, and they scheduled to come out. So I knew, they were coming. And in my mind, I was just really overwhelmed, taken aback, because I knew whatever I needed to do to keep my child, I need to make sure that happened. Whatever I needed to do as far as going to court to get my child back, I knew that needed to happen. I was just, in my mind running through all these scenarios, of the steps that I would need to take, because no one in my family, ever dealt with Franklin County Children's Services. So of course I was a young mom. This was my first child, but my family hadn't, my parents, my siblings, my aunts, uncles, cousins, no one in my immediate family or even distant family here in the Columbus, Ohio area that I knew of had ever had any dealings with FCCS, unless it was because they were a foster parent. So this was completely foreign to me, but I had it in my mind, whatever this person said, whatever they said I needed to do, that was the steps. Those were the steps that I was going to take, to reunite or to stay with my child. So the person came and they had their clipboard and they came in, and I lived in Poindexter Village. I lived in the projects, and they just were at the front door. They asked me a few questions, wrote some things on their clipboard. And then they asked me if they could look in my refrigerator. So I'm thinking they're going to look all around the house and, say, can we check the baby and everything like that. But they just asked, can we look in your refrigerator? So I'm thinking, okay. And I'm running through my mind, what's in my refrigerator? What's not in my refrigerator? So, I'm nervous, but I know there's nothing horrible in my refrigerator. So she comes back and she says, you have milk and orange juice. So we're going to go ahead and close the case. And I said, huh? Say that, huh? Milk and orange? She was like, yes. I checked the refrigerator. You have milk and orange juice. So we're going to go ahead and close the case. And that was my first and my last dealing with Franklin County Children's Services in regards to my own children, my own family. And can we all say together, WIC for the win. Woo! So as you can imagine, based on that story, the products and the services that WIC has provided have been integral to my life, because I can tell you 100% for sure that I had that milk and that orange juice because of WIC.